Hey everyone, Dennis Kaye here, Belize Islands Real Estate. Today I want to do something very special. I want to take you through a moving to or an investing in Belize workshop. Now, this workshop is usually done with my clients one-on-one or with a small group, and it applies not only to moving to Belize or investing in Belize, but also to some of the other coaching that I do with some of my clients. And this is usually done, like I said, on a live basis, so I can work with a client one-on-one, look at their answers, see what their sticking points are, and then help them to kind of move through those points if possible. But today I'm just going to take this video and I figure it's going to get out to hundreds and thousands of you. So if you just take the time to kind of work through each section of it, and it's going to take some time. That's why I'm doing it on video, so you can watch it, pause, think, write your answers down. I think you're going to find it very helpful. And who knows, you might even have a breakthrough or two that helps you to get past your sticking point and helps you to see how you really can move to invest in Belize or accomplish any of the other goals that you're setting for yourself. All right, so let's get right into it. I'm going to do a share screen here, and I'm going to share a PowerPoint presentation. And like I said, this PowerPoint presentation is usually something that that I used for my coaching clients. However, it's going to be adapted today to Belize real estate. All right. So the theme of the workshop is take massive action towards your dreams and goals. Nothing's going to happen with Belize or any of your other goals unless you really put forth some effort, you really put forth some action, and you make sure that you're aiming those actions or you're tackling these obstacles in a way where you can actually bust through them and make some progress. So hold yourself accountable, take ownership and thrive. All right, so this is the theme of today's Belize workshop and why this time can be different. Because here's the thing, if you've been trying to do things on your own for a while, just doing some research or maybe, looking at some websites or videos, you may have days that, you just don't feel like it. You just don't think it's possible. And you just need a little bit of help working through some issues. So that's why I think if you really watch and work through this video, this time can be different in taking some major steps forward toward your goals. For those of you who aren't familiar with me, my name is Dennis Kaye, and I help people live the dream. Primarily, my main career is helping people to buy and invest in a real estate in Belize. Spent the last 15 years doing that, but I'm also working with a select number of other clients, helping them to achieve peak performance in other areas of their life. Now, the one thing that we need to really come to grips with is that usually, and it's not always our fault, so to speak, but we have to accept responsibility, is that the actions and habits that we've implemented in our lives for the last few months or years or decades have led to where we're at currently. And this could be the state of our health, our relationships, our businesses, our finances, our career success or lack thereof. They're all results of our current habits and actions. And where we live and how we live can have a lot to do with what our habits are. And so planning to make a move, either away from our home city, home state, home country, and branch out and live somewhere else or do something else as a career can have a major impact on our life. Now, my goal for this video is twofold. Number one is to help you identify maybe one or more areas of your life that you haven't been able to achieve the success yet that you want, and offer some options and solutions so that this time, moving forward from today, things might be a little different for you. So I'm going to talk about these three things: roadblocks, obstacles, and sabotages, laws, principles, and incentives, and creating accountability and ownership, how and why. That's going to be one of the most important parts of this video. So first of all, what are some of the roadblocks, obstacles, and sabotages that people often run into when they're trying to do something like move abroad, become an expat, invest in a foreign country? Well, number one is sometimes they rely on their own willpower and self-discipline. Now, this is not a good thing, even though we need to accept ownership, because willpower and self-discipline absolutely comes with limits and failings. Number two, not having or not creating or implementing a strong enough feedback loop. And you might be relying on friends and family for this. We're going to talk about why that absolutely does not work in most cases. And number three, the failure to see the carryover or ripple effect. So let's just talk about a few of these now. First of all, limitations of willpower and self-discipline. Now, it's no secret at least it shouldn't become a secret, that if you're looking at moving to Belize, there are a lot of pieces of the puzzle. And some days you're feeling like, you know what, I can do this. I've got some self-confidence. I'm going to, work at these and make this happen. And other days you just have no get up and go at all. You just wake up maybe in a depressed mood, or something's happening in the family or at work. You just don't have it in you. And at those times, you might just feel like giving up. All right. Why? Because you're just relying on yourself, self-discipline. Now, one of the things I have found helpful in working with my clients is something called the add-in principle. Now, it applies absolutely if you're trying to get in shape. Obviously, willpower, self-discipline can only go so far. So the add-in principle, this is something very interesting, is that when you're trying to change a habit or eliminate a bad habit and replace it with something good, then what you need to do is simply add in as much positive reinforcement, or positive, in this case, food or exercise or whatnot, and that actually crowds out the negative. So, for example, if you're saying to yourself, you know what, I want to eat less cheeseburgers and French fries, two of my favorite things, then I'll say, okay, I can have the cheeseburgers and French fries after I eat all of these salads, lean proteins, whatever it is that I'm adding into my diet. So by adding in, it actually crowds out the negative, right? So it's not a replacement of the habit, or a replacement of the food, or something physical, emotional, mental in your time. You're actually crowding in. Now, how can this apply to Belize? Well, right now, many of us are sort of have our eyes glued to the TVs, to the internet-based news websites, to social media. And all of this, it's not a surprise, aren't going to contribute toward our goals of improving our lives, right? Moving to Belize, investing in Belize, creating a new career for ourselves. All right, so what we need to do is start to add into our daily life positive information, learning a new skill. So pack that schedule, man. When you look at your calendar, there shouldn't be much white space in there, other than, white space on purpose to allow for some flexibility. But you should be packing your schedule with, learning things, doing things. Give a little tip. What I do is I often look for events to attend, either live and in person when I can, when it's not COVID-19, or in this case, online events. So for example, I'm attending a 3-day sales and marketing boot camp starting tomorrow, and it's going to be 3 packed days of how I can better my business to better service my clients. And I'm doing that, right? I've been successful so far, but there's things I can learn. So I pack that in, and you could be doing the same things like that as well regarding your move to Belize. Now, so here's what I want you to do. Pause the video for a minute and write down on the sheet of paper, uh, moving to Belize or investing in Belize real estate. Now, think about it. When do you find yourself the most motivated to do those things? When is your willpower at its highest? When is your confidence at its highest? And why? Think about why it is. On what days or weeks do you feel most motivated? And write down the 5 or 10 reasons why that is. Now, on contrast, when do you feel like giving up on your dream? Right? When do you feel your willpower is at its weakest? When you just don't have any drive, any motivation? And why is that? What is it that maybe you ate the wrong foods last night? Maybe you didn't sleep well. Maybe you just have a lot of cortisol going on because some stress in your life. And those days, do you feel less like having the putting forth the effort and the energy to move or to invest? Secondly, what exactly do I need help, or when exactly do I need help, and what does that help look like? So on those days that you're just not feeling it, who or can you turn to for some help, motivation, reinforcement that you really are moving in the right direction? And then finding what else is contributing to my lack of self-discipline in that particular area. All right, so here's a great quote by Jerry Colonna, the coach of the spider tattoo. How have I been complicit in creating the conditions I say I don't want? All right, so how can we use this quote in our life? Well, think about it for a minute. You say you want to move to Belize, right? You're going to simplify your life. But last Saturday, you went out and bought a new flat screen TV because you got a good deal on it. All right, so you just added something to your house, an attachment, spent money on something that you probably didn't need. And now you have something physical that is tying you to your home or to the US or Canada or wherever you're living. All right. Or you say to yourself, you know what, I want to break free from my 9-to-5 job, but you haven't done anything in the last 2 or 3 months to learn a new skill to translate the online job into, or the physical job, 9 to 5, into an online job. So you gotta be honest with yourself, guys. How have you been complicit in creating the conditions I say I don't want? All right. So if you say you want some freedom, if you say you want to move abroad, if you say you want to invest in real estate, all right, what have you been doing that has prevented you so far from doing those things? All right. Good question. We can spend hours on that one. Number two, the lack of a strong and effective feedback loop. Now, here's the thing, guys. Moving abroad, living as an expat, working online, doing something different is often a one player game. All right. Your closest friends, closest family members, and others are probably not going to join you in this journey, at least not right away. All right. So you're taking steps to move forward. And let's say you have a couple wins. All right. I'm feeling fantastic. Well, you don't really have anyone to share those wins with to say, you know what, great job. You're doing good. Keep moving forward. And at the same time, if you're taking steps and you're failing and you're just not seeing the results, you have no one to share your frustrations with, no one to help you along the road. So having an effective feedback loop is absolutely something I suggest everyone do, especially with their main goals in life. So without an effective feedback loop, what can be happening? Well, you could not be getting results. Something could not be working for you, and you're not seeing the progress, and you just don't know why, right? And then that's common for a lot of us. Like, look, I just don't know why I'm struggling in this area of my life. Or you think you're making progress, but the results are so minute that it's going to take forever, and you're just not going to do it, right? It's like saving, $5 a week and for something that might cost $100,000. And it's going to take too long to get there. And sometimes with a big move, like moving to Belize, investing in Belize real estate, it's going to take some major jumps and leaps to get you toward your goal faster. And then finally, you can just get frustrated, right? You can, because there can be things that you're missing, little key pieces of the puzzle. If you had that information, then you might be able to move forward. Without it, maybe you're just going to give up. All right, I'll give you an example. Financing in Belize. Some people research like, oh, you know what? I can't get financing through the local banks, or it's different than it is in the US and Canada. I'm just going to give up. Not knowing that we can help with financing in a lot of cases. So you just got to find those key pieces to the puzzle. And then finally, number three is not considering or not giving enough weight to the ripple effect. Failure to see how everything is connected. And this is so true when venturing on a new aspect in life. That you might be moving to Belize, for example. I have a client, they want to move to Belize primarily for their health. All right, where they're living now is not good for them. They want to move to Belize. They feel that the salt water, being able to swim in the ocean every day, the sunshine, having more light, right? Not being stuck in an office or in a dark place of the world, they will improve their health. That's true. But think about how many areas of their life that's going to affect, not just their physical health, but their mental health, their emotional health. The relationships will probably improve. They'll be able to do more, because when you feel better, you can do better, right? So you got to really, really paint the picture of, okay, I might be moving to Belize for this reason, but how many other areas of your life is it going to affect? Let me give you an example. When I'm working with my clients on their health and fitness, we talk about eating good and exercising. There is an immediate effect to eating good and exercising, right? So, for example, you get up in the morning, you have some protein, whatever it is whatever kind of program you're on, and you exercise for 20 minutes, right? There's an immediate effect, all right? Your body goes through a ton of changes when you do just 20 minutes of exercise. You feel good, you increase your blood flow, everything is affected by that, right? And your entire day can go better. If you start a day off with a little bit of exercise or a nice walk or something like that, it can affect the entire day. But what about those days that you just don't feel like it, right? Remember that you're not exercising just for the day. There are some midterm benefits, right? So, for example, exercising several times a week can help you in the next following weeks or months. Why? Well, again, greater output, right? So you're putting out more at work, you're investing more in your family and your relationships, you're able to participate more, you're going to get sick less often, so you're going to less miss out on less and less important events in your life. You're going to reduce your stress, all right? Then you can think about, well, what are the long-term benefits? All right. So the long-term benefits has been proven. People that eat well, take care of themselves, exercise, they reduce their rate of possibility of getting heart disease, diabetes. They're able to spend more time with loved ones, have a longer life many times, and thriving even into old age. So look at those three aspects: immediate, midterm, long-term. Apply that to your life in Belize. Now pause the video, write this down. What are some immediate benefits of moving to or investing in Belize? All right. So today is what? What is today? Today is Thursday. I get on a plane tomorrow. I arrive in Belize tomorrow night. Saturday morning, what are the immediate benefits right away that I'm going to see over the weekend? All right. Now, if I live there for several months or few years, what are the midterm benefits? How is my life going to change? Right? What am I going to see as far as all the major areas of my life? Finances, career, relationships, health and fitness, overall happiness. What am I going to see in the next following months and years? Then think about the long-term benefits. All right. What is my life going to be like 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now if I make this move tomorrow? All right. So write all those down. Pause the video, write all those down, and see how many ideas you can come up with and see how many of your areas of your life interconnect. Now, moving on from this, all right, start the video back up. Here are some laws, principles, and incentives that you can work with. These are some tools and a toolkit that you can use as you plan your move or your investment. We're going to talk about just 3 of them. The slight edge principle, which is the 10x, or excuse me, the 10% principle versus the 10x principle. There's 2 different principles there. We'll talk about those. We'll talk about the 80-20 principle or Pareto's law, and then how to 80-20 that again. And then finally, creating a system where failure is not an option or even possible. So first of all, one of the best books I've ever read was called The Slight Edge. It shows that over time, we're all going forward in time. We're all heading toward the future. And our lives are normally getting 10% better or 10% worse. And sometimes they can be getting 10% better in one area of our life and getting 10% worse in another area. We just because we're not focusing on it. But over time, over the next month, year, 5 years, we're going to see a trajectory. So our finances, health, business, personal development, relationships, all of that is going to either get better or worse, depending on the choices we make, the habits we adopt, and so forth. So it's the 10% might not seem like much at first, but over time it's going to make massive changes in our life. So oftentimes, for example, when I coach my other clients, non-Belize related, we talk about the extra 10% after they feel they've done all they could. So that one more rep at the end of a heavy set, or that one more mile or effort, right, at the end of the day. For those of you in sales and marketing, a few extra phone calls once you feel that you put in enough for the day. One more follow-up with an important client, or being just 10% more present with your family and your relationships, giving them the time and attention. Now, that little 10% might not seem like much today, but over the next week, month, year, that's going to make a big difference. So how can we apply this to our thinking about moving to Belize? Well, there's 5 things here I've listed. I'm sure you can think of many more. Pause the video now and then write down, how will these things improve? How will they get 10% better by moving to Belize or investing in Belize? Now maybe the truth is, maybe for some of these that they won't get better, right? I mean, it's up to you, right? Simply moving to another country is not going to automatically make all your life better. You have to work at it. But how could your life be 10% better in these areas? Finances, health and fitness, which includes longevity, mental, emotional health, your business, career, your finances, personal development and growth. All right. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's the mental bandwidth to pursue other interests, learn new skills. And then finally, family and relationships. So pause the video. How do you feel your life might change just even 10% better in these areas of your life? When you're ready, continue. Now, by comparison, here is a really fun part of our workshop that we do. Instead of just 10%, let's go for a massive change, right? 10x growth, 10 times growth. All right. So what is 10x action? Well, 10x action is, for example, if you're an entrepreneur or business owner and you want to embark on something new, so some sort of big challenge, you can take 2 weeks and devote yourself to it, right? So that's a good amount of time to devote to something new. Or you can block out 2 months for that project. But what if you blocked out a full year sabbatical? So you know what? I'm going to take a full year, devote myself to this one aspect of my life that I'm trying to make a change in. That's 10x action. For example, second point, when you're looking at business growth, all right? So many of you are entrepreneurs, you have your own business. You might say, you know, I have a 3-year goal that within 3 years, I want to be at this revenue, have this many clients, I want to increase our bottom line by this month. Okay, that's your 3-year goal. But now flip that upside down. How could you accomplish that in the next 3 months, right? If you had to, right? So how could that apply to Belize? Well, let's say you have a 5-year goal of moving to Belize, right? In 5 years, I'm going to have this in place, that in place. All right, good, perfect, got a plan. How could you do it in 5 months if you had to? All right. What things could you completely turn upside down, completely look at from another angle, eliminate? What could you do to make the move in 5 months if you had to? People do this all the time, right? People, for example, they're living in one city of the United States or Canada or Europe, and they have a job, they have a house, they have cars, they have a family, and all of a sudden, boom, they lose their job, no income. They look online, they find a job in another city, and within sometimes a month, the house is sold, everything's sold, the cars are sold, and they're in a U-Haul driving across state to start in a brand new life somewhere, right? Why? Because it forced them to, right? So the situation forced them to do it, but you can do the same thing with regards to your move to or investing in Belize. And then finally, what is the 10x action you could take in terms of your health, fitness, relationships, reducing stress and anxiety, giving back, and helping others, all different areas of your life, right? So do this, pause the video. And when you look at moving to Belize or investing in Belize, how could your life improve 10 times? All right. So 10x is just a multiplier. How can your life be completely different? All right. So, for example, you can look at examples all day long on YouTube of people that moved as immigrants to another country with nothing in their pocket, and then within a few years became multimillionaires, right? Those cases are out there. Why? Because the immigrant came with nothing, and they put their heart and soul into building a business. That's what they wanted to do. Others have been completely out of shape, maybe close to dying. Maybe they had a scare in their life where they were obese or something happened, and they just got a wake up call one day. And from that day on, boom, within 6 months, 3 months, 6 months, or a year, they completely changed their health and fitness, right? They became vibrant and able to do more and become more because they were in better health. Same thing with business and career, personal development, family, relationships. See if in this exercise, a move to Belize could help you 10x all these different parts of your life. All right. Finally, the 80-20 principle. I know I'm going long. 80-20 principle is something I dive down deep with a lot of my clients. Get me on a Zoom call if you want to discuss this one at length. I don't have enough time today to really drill down and show you how effective this can be, especially when it comes to moving to investing in Belize. But we can do an 80-20 analysis on all these different areas. And what we're really going to dial down and look at is how, by putting in effort in the right key areas, can help you achieve your goals much, much faster. All right, finally, building an effective, strong feedback loop. Again, we talked about this before. You need someone to turn to. You need to set up a system. It doesn't have to be someone. You need a system that you put in place that helps you to see if you're making progress or not. All right, this can be something simple as creating effective lists, checking off those lists. Sometimes they're a little bit more complicated than that, but the stronger the feedback loop, especially when you're looking at making a major life change like this, can really, really be helpful. And then finally, this is very important: coaching, mentoring, and consulting. Why? Because I mentioned moving like this is oftentimes a one-player game. All right, you're doing it on your own without much support and feedback from others. So you really need to collect information and feed on information that's going to help you make this a success. Now, finding this information, it can be done in all different ways. It can be done through podcast videos, hiring a coach, getting a mentor, consulting. It can help you in 3 ways. It can help you with your perspective, your time, and your accountability. Now, why? Our current perspective, the one we have now on the world, is oftentimes based on our own life experiences, how we were raised, where we were raised, what we're feeding our minds on, for example, the news today, and what we've been told. So going with a coach or a mentor helps us to broaden our perspective. For example, if you're into such things as hiring a business coach or hiring a fitness coach, why do we hire them? Because they have experience. They've worked with other clients like us, and they have a lot of experience working with different types of people. They have experience of working through obstacles or challenges. And rather than us trying to figure things out with what we know, with what we've been told, they can offer a new story, a new perspective, and give us some practical suggestions. Right. So, what they're going to do is help us with our thinking, being, and doing because they've had other experiences. And that can help us make a shift in our behavior, our habits, and help us to move forward with some of these sticking points. Also, having the right person or toolkit can help us do all this in a quicker time frame, right? So on our own, we might be able to only accomplish so much, right? So on our own, let's say we got a 5-year plan, right, to retire, move to Belize, invest in property, something like that, right? With the right coach or mentor, we might be able to do that in, let's say, 6 months or 1 year or 2 years. So just cut the time in half to 2.5 years. All right. So coaching, mentoring, getting the right people on your team absolutely saves time. And that expedited time can mean a lot, right? Why? Because none of us are getting any younger. Time is moving on for all of us. So the sooner we can reach some of these goals and do some of these things that we want to do in our life, well, the more fulfilled we're going to be, the happier we're going to be, and we're just going to have more time to enjoy the life that we really want to enjoy. So that's where accountability comes in. All right. Because right now, if you don't have any accountability, if you're looking at moving to Belize and you wake up and have one of those rough days, you're thinking, oh my goodness, just throw in the towel, forget it. I'm staying here in my little hometown. I'm not going to do anything because it's just too hard. Well, having someone or a toolkit that keeps you accountable, keeps you focused on the reasons you're doing this, keeps you moving forward, and helps you to achieve those dreams. Now, just as an example, this can't be normally a friend or family member because you're not going to share your real why. So you're not going to share your motivation. So even though they might be supportive of you, they might not be pushing you in that direction. And sometimes friends and family members, they're just too loving, right? They just like, come on, you don't need to do this. You can just stay right here. No worries. Why are you going through all this? You got a good job. You got a good life. Yeah, going to Belize would be cool, but you don't really have to. There's a lot of people that don't, that kind of talk. You don't need someone to tell you those things. You want someone to say, you know what, do it. When you wake up and you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway. All right. You're scared, do it anyway. You're depressed, do it anyway. You haven't got everything figured out, do it anyway, right? So I know you got questions. Let me know by email. My email is down on the link below, denniskii@gmail.com. Be happy to jump on a Zoom call with you. If you haven't done it so already, buy me a coffee. Steph and I take our coffee there it is. Take our coffees very seriously. And we'll be able to get on a Zoom call with you and answer any and all questions you have about moving to living in Belize as an expat, as a retiree, owning a vacation home there, just investing in Belize real estate, if that's your goal, right? So we'd be happy to help you out any way that we can. All right, thanks a lot, guys. Hope you appreciated this little video today. Again, this is a workshop video. So this is normally something I do with my clients one-on-one. It takes at least an hour, hour and a half, but it's effective because it really helps to identify some of those areas in the process that you're struggling with or maybe struggling with, and we can offer you some tips and tricks on how to bust through those and get you living somewhere like right there. That'd be amazing. So, all right, guys, take care, man. Have a great day. Again, looking forward to talking to you soon. And hopefully we can all meet in Belize one day and buy a Bellican or a coffee and watch the sunrise together. And we'll just talk about, how all the struggle and long days and planning, it was all worth it, right? Because here we are living our dreams. So, all right, take care. Hope you're doing well today and hope to hear from you soon.